Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the Senior Minister of Sunshine Cathedral. And with me are Sunshine Cathedral's other ministers, Bishop Robert Griffin, Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, and Reverend Kevin Tisdall. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about our progressive faith community and how you can be a part of it, no matter where you live in the world. And if you live in South Florida, be sure to check out the Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts, offering entertainment for the LGBTQ+ community to benefit the LGBTQ+ community. If you enjoyed the Queer God Squad, please share episodes with your friends, family, and social media communities. We appreciate your viewing and sharing in all the ways you support us. To learn more about the Sunshine Cathedral, to make donations, or to buy tickets for shows featured at the Sunshine Cathedral Center for Performing Arts, please visit sunshinecathedral.org. You can also follow us on social media. At Sunshine Cathedral, we're here to tell you that you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out in support of their mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. In 2025, we're celebrating the 40th anniversary of Hotspots Magazine, the 25th anniversary of Queer News Tonight, and we produced the 25th anniversary of Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival on June 14th. Hotspots Happening Out is the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral Perspective. What can queer and progressive communities do to keep our sanity 2025 through 2029? Wildfires in California. Some foolish people are suggesting it is the manifestation of ancient prognostications. Why are they so far failed? Prophecies assumed to be for the United States. And then a twice impeached, adjudicated rapist and convicted felon starts blathering about retaking the Panama Canal, obtaining Greenland without their permission, and even suggesting Canada should become the 51st state. Wouldn't DC and Puerto Rico be ahead of them in the queue? And DC for sure will like to be a state. And this buffoonish criminal will be the president for presumably 4 years. Many of us still have nightmares about his 4 years. Idaho state legislature calls for the Supreme Court to rescind marriage equality. That's not how it works, folks. But it's still a horrifying gesture and will certainly not be the last. A great humanitarian, Jimmy Carter, died. Who is there to rise to his level of ethical and compassionate leadership? Conflicts in Eastern Europe and in the Middle East. There's a lot of chaos. How do we get through it all? Especially as progressives, what can we do together to keep ourselves sane in difficult times, to help others, and to dream of a better world even if we're never the ones to see it? Heavy stuff, but worth discussing, and the Queer God Squad will. Can I have a shot of vodka?
That's how Robert would get through.
As I was reading this story and thinking about it, I was thinking about the people in California who are actually going through wildfires now. And one of the words that keeps popping up is that everyone should have a grab bag. And it's that grab bag to go. And I just keep thinking, when I think about what's coming up in 2025 through 2029, what do we need in our grab bag to survive for the next few years, or the next, we don't know, but what do we need in our grab bag? So I was thinking, okay, Robert, what am I going to put in my grab bag? Okay, certainly there's a lot of faith.
Yeah.
Certainly a lot of faith. Certainly just being understanding that there's a lot I don't know. There's a lot that's going to be out of my control. But so I need some patience in my grab bag. And I think just being reminded constantly that we've been in a situation like this before and we have survived. We've not been in this one. We've not survived this one yet, but we've been in similar stuff like this. And at the end of the day, and this is not rose-colored glasses, I want to feel that I and we will all be okay. But we cannot take any of it for granted.
Yeah.
We cannot stop and walk back the work that we've done to get us where we are today. People who are already raising the flag on marriage equality, that's not going to be the only thing they're going to raise the flag on. If we look at things that they've already raised the flag around, the DEI and gender and women's autonomy, this list is not going to stop anytime soon. So how do we get through this progressive? I think we're reminded that we are not an island. We must stand together. We must stick together, and most importantly, remember that in that grab bag also is to grab you a dose of the Sunshine Cathedral.
Yay!
And let that mean for you what it needs to be wherever you're locally or around the world. Because as we think about what Sunshine Cathedral has to offer, it is that place of hope. It is that place of feeling and coming and needing to feel love and to be held, to be nurtured, and to be cared for. And that we don't have to worry about what the sayers may say about it down the road, but we are reminded that as our senior minister, Bishop Washington said, we are a fortress. We are a fortress. Yeah. I think that's a mighty fortress is our God. We are a fortress. The gay community is a fortress, and we, you have to reckon with us at some point. And so all these things that are coming at us are preparing to attack us, and not only just us in the gay community, but also people who are on the margins, the others. We may have to become that fortress for the others as well. Yeah. So pack your grab bag. Be mindful of what you put in your grab bag and know it's there for you to help someone else along the way.
All right.
You mentioned the mighty fortress is our God. It's a hymn written by Martin Luther, and who was a part of the or leader of the Protestant Reformation. We think of him probably even more than Calvin. He had a protest, which is what Protestants are. They protested the authority of the Pope. They protested the church saying you can only think one way and do things one way. And so these protesters, these Protestants, were singing about this fortress, that God is our fortress, because they really did feel like there was sort of a battle, that the church was corrupt, that the church was selling indulgences, that you can, if you're in trouble, you can buy redemption, you can buy forgiveness, and you just get right up into heaven. And he thought these were sort of abusive and silly and wrong, and he tapped his 99 theses on the Wittenberg door and got in a lot of trouble. But that is actually a very good symbol for what we're going through, because we are going to have to be in protest mode for a while. When you're not in the majority, when you don't have the power, when you don't have all the money, and you don't have all the power, and you don't have all the influence, and you're also a target, then what you have is protest.
Yes. Yeah.
What you have is your voice. What you have are your ideas. What you have is your togetherness. And so we need to be the protesters. We need to be the Protestants, finding the fortress that can keep us safe, and that's community. That's our ideas. That's our values. That's our love. And so that's how we're going to stay sane, is by staying on mission, staying on focus, staying on purpose throughout all this. Now, this is how it's different than other despotic times, though. And again, this Protestant thing I'm playing with is applicable. I can name you a lot of despots in history, and some of them claim the power of maybe the Catholic Church, or that they had some unique revelation of the Bible, or Jim Jones, his little thing out, and that there are people who've tied to religion. But this seems so unique in that American Christianity writ large, not the liberal Protestants that have for over a century been sort of a quiet mouse anyway, but evangelical and fundamentalist Christians, which are a powerful block of this country, and even now some Mormons and some Catholics. So Christianity writ large is on board with this rapist, felon, pathological liar, homophobe, transphobe, who is now even just blathering on about all-out imperialism. We'll just take this country and that country and maybe one more. Did we really vote for someone? Well, I didn't vote for him anyway, but did we really vote for someone to just invade other countries or take them or try to buy them? Like this imperialist rhetoric and this anti-trans these attacks on, and you know what transgender Americans are? They're Americans. You know what I mean?
Yes, they are.
And so the violence and the cruelty and the ugliness, and that people said, I love Jesus and this mess. You know what I mean? Like, what? I like fire and ice. You know, I like up and down. I like air and choking. I mean, it's like, it doesn't make any sense, right? And so the people who have said, I somehow, my life is centered around, focused on, inspired by, changed by someone who said, turn the other cheek, and blessed are the poor, and they'll know you are my disciples by your love, and give to those who ask.
Yeah.
Are the ones driving the engine of this misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic, racist, xenophobic, violent, cruel ideology. And so that's what makes it different for me, is that you either have to fight the fight to redefine what Christian is, because if it's become that's not what it can be, or you have to fight the fight to leave Christianity and say, yes, I am a person of faith, and yes, I do love me some Jesus, but I cannot be part of that foolishness. So there's a lot of extra effort of having to redefine terms, of having to figure out where you are in all of that, because now you're not only fighting the evil forces of bigotry and cruelty, they're coming after your Social Security, they're coming after public education, just dismantling and destroying government. Not only have to take that on, but then we have to take on the faith that they're using as a weapon to get it all done, that we grew up thinking was our faith. And either they have stolen the name, or they have so clearly redefined what it is that we have to somehow be super clear that's not us. And if that means we have to let the word Christian go, let them have it. Okay, you work so hard for it, hell, take it. Because whatever this is, Christian or not, it can't be us, and it's certainly not on the side of righteousness, on the side of goodness, on the side of justice, on the side of healing, on the side of togetherness. And so that's what makes this so difficult for me, is that because to fight this battle means to fight 3 or 4 battles. And in all of that, how do we stay together? How do we stay sane? How do we stay hopeful? And we can do, and we will do, but let's also be very honest about why this feels so overwhelming.
Yep. I mean, for years it was, what would Jesus do? And now that's considered too woke.
Right.
I mean, we grew up with thinking, well, what would Jesus do? And now when we try and do that, we're an awful person because we are kind, caring, generous. I mean, that makes absolutely no sense. And to have this at the highest echelons of our government, I mean, what do we do with that? What I will do with that is keep my community close. Keep my community very close and continue doing what I need to do. If that means letting go of Christian, that title, so be it. Actually, it's been a while that I've used Christian. I actually prefer follower of Jesus.
Yes, thank you.
I often use follower of Jesus rather than the word Christian. It's too angry. It's too painful to use the word Christian anymore.
It's almost like you need 2 bracelets. What would Jesus do? And I couldn't care less. You know what I mean?
You have to take that from Trump's wife. Wow. That point that you just made about being too woke. A pastor not long ago read, didn't do anything else with it, but read to their congregation the Sermon on the Mount. And one of the worshipers at the end of it came up to him and said, why are you giving us that woke garbage? I mean, that's how far too many of our brethren have moved away from the way, the followers of the way. And the cynicism of religion is what too many people see. Religion has become, for too many people, a multi-billion-dollar organization that is not rooted in anything, in my opinion, other than money. And as long as that is true, no, I'm not going to be a part of that, but I am not going to give up following Jesus. I am not going to give up loving my brothers and my sisters and my neighbors. I refuse to give in to that insanity. And there are a couple of other things about this whole conversation that's annoying to me. The first thing is that this guy isn't even the president yet. And he is already attacking the most populous state in our nation while they are going through the worst possible time. He is just beating the living daylights out of the governor. He is causing his media organization to look at the fire chief, I forget their actual title, but she's a woman, and she is one of the most qualified firefighters ever. And all of a sudden, she's a DEI plant.
Yeah.
We said that about all minorities and women.
It is just obscene that he does this.
He's a terrible person.
And when did science give in to politics? A long friggin' time ago. But my point about that is that when things bad happen in liberal enclaves, it is God's wrath. When things happen in the middle of America where God loves everybody, when a tornado takes out a whole town, it's just a shame. Now, what all of that boils down to is climate change. And that's another thing that the oligarchs don't want to talk about, because climate change made a multi-billionaire into a 400 billionaire. So it is no advantage for him to give in to the actual science that's behind what's going on in California. It annoys me on so many different levels that too many people have fallen for this message that if I was able to do it, you're going to be able to do it as long as you are as nasty as I am. And too many people are following that, and too many younger white men are following that message. So we have to be as strong as possible as a religious organization, and we're still a religious organization. We're a church. We're a church of hope. We're a church of passion. We're a church for the people. And if we can get our message out through this broadcast, through anything else that we do, then we're doing God's work. And we have to be more vigilant about doing that work and getting that message out as clear and as unvarnished as possible. And that's the other secret. With the media so much in the back pocket of billionaires, it's difficult for a positive message of hope to get out there. So we've got a lot of work to do, and it's not just the next 4 years. It's the next 40 years that we've got to get that message of God's love for all people to as many people as possible. And it's going to get scary. I really believe it's going to get scary for a while, and we're going to have to be strong. We're going to have to take the brunt of the silliness, because if we're not doing it, then there are fewer and fewer people who are pushing the message of God's love, God's true love for all of God's people.
Yes.
Well, that's today with the Queer God Squad.
Before we go, we want to invite you to join Sunshine Cathedral on a wonderful travel experience and help our mission for our community. Join us on the Florida Ace Walk Pride Cruise. This unique 3-day cruise will sail from Miami on the $1 billion and ultra deluxe 170-ton MSC Seascape on November 2nd, 2025.
The cruise is an incredible value, starting at just $199. Parties, special events, and more aboard, including a special unlimited beverage and open bar with Wi-Fi for all 3 days for just $68. We invite you to join us on this amazing cruise for fun, this vital cruise for good.
We want to thank you for joining us. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about. Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together.
We are all in this together. Remember that.
You are God's miracle, not God's mistake.
Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.